Welcome, everyone, to the 10th annual Guadalupe Gathering. I am so excited to be facilitating this year again, this gathering, and it is earlier than normal. Usually, I try to have it right around her actual feast day, December 12th. But as many of you know, I am going to be flying to Colorado on Wednesday to be on midwife duty, I guess, to be with my daughter, my first child to have a child. So I just thought it'd be too risky to try to figure out how to do it from there. And so I was like, I'm going to do it December 1st. And so, but what I was telling everybody before we started was, I was going to do a post as I was promoting this. I was like, oh, let me go back and gather pictures from the last 10 years, because this started back in 2014 in my house in Chicago, back when I lived in Chicago. But then the problem was when I found them, I realized all these other people were in the pictures and I hadn't asked permission if they wanted to be on social media. So I was like, I can't put these pictures up. But it did give me the opportunity to look back and I was like, oh my gosh, it started with like a small group of people just coming to my house, me buying tamales for everyone and like having little Guadalupe candles and it was like a potluck and my big Christmas tree there. And I was really trying to think like, what made me start this? Like why I hadn't done like a Guadalupe ceremony before. And I just remember that, well, one, I had just, recently moved to that home. It had a very big living room area. So I was like, this is so perfect. I know some of you were there. And I think that was right around the time when Our Lady of Guadalupe was really, really like I was just feeling such a deep connection to her. Of course, I knew of her. Of course, I had connected with her before for sure. Looking back, I can see how she was part of my life for so long. But it was like right there that it was like she was inviting me to gather people to connect with her. And I remember how nervous I was. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And then also I was like, this isn't going to be like a Catholic gathering, really, a religious gathering, or people are going to be confused. There were so many fears I had about it, but then it was really like, just do it. And I did. And some of you were there in the first gathering. And if this is your first gathering, please welcome. I'm so delighted that you're here. But the reason I'm talking about this is as I was preparing, I was like, okay, 10 years, what does the number 10 represent? Last year, when it was 9 years, 9 is the year of completion, right? And 10 is one. It's like a beginning of a new era. It's like that's what I think of it. Not even new chapter. This is like new era. This is new, like this whole new level. And so I know that looking through the pictures, even though I didn't end up posting them, that Guadalupe was having me notice like everything that happened those years and all the preparation to come to this year. And I want to reassure you, if you're like, well, I wasn't in the other Guadalupe gatherings, or I was only in 2 of them or whatever, it doesn't matter. You were being prepared by the Divine Mother, right? Even in your own way. But here we are, the theme of this year is being a pillar of light, right? Being the pillar of light the world needs. And so we're going to talk about what does that mean? And what Guadalupe was telling me was like all the years leading up to this. So 2014 to 2024. And of course, your whole life. And if you connect with past lives, even other lifetimes, but specifically, she wants us to look at these last 10 years and that everything that was happening, everything you went through. And so the meditation we're going to have with Guadalupe this year, I'm so excited. It's going to be kind of like a 10-year journey, but that everything has prepared you for whatever it is you're going through now. Whether it's amazing and beautiful and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm in this really amazing place, or whether it feels challenging and confusing and confounding or anywhere in between, that we have been preparing to be the pillars of light. There has been a preparation that's been happening. And so thank you so much for saying yes to this invitation. Thank you for anchoring, being a pillar of light wherever you are in the world. And so if you want to write down, I forgot, it's like I had Patty test a chat and then I turned it off. Here we go. Okay. People are ready. Okay. If you want to write down where you are in the world, anchoring your pillar of light, please write that in the chat. As you all know, maybe I'm in Mexico. And so that pillar of light is being anchored very deeply here. And also know that you carry, and if you're like, well, what does she mean? I'm going to talk about that. But I want you to know that wherever you go, right? So Jill's saying she's in Chicago. Shira's in Chicago. I think, Patty, you're saying Seattle. Oh, you moved to Seattle in 2014. That's exciting. Evanston, yes. And so know that we're also wherever you travel, right? Wherever you go, you carry that pillar of light. So if you travel for the holidays, if you have family that is somewhere else in the world, if your job requires you to travel, like you, I've talked about this before, but it's no accident. You take that with you wherever you go. Milwaukee, thank you for being here. I know some people who are gonna maybe not attend live. I know there's someone in France. I know there's people in Denmark. I know there's someone in Ireland. There's just, people all over. And so let's talk about, I talked about the number 10 being this number of new era, right? New beginning, right? We go to 9, completion, then 10. If you know anything about numerology, it's a 1 and a 0. It's a beginning. And then when actually, she wants me to do the invocation first. So let's do this first, and then we'll talk about the pillar of light. And then we'll go into all the things. I'll go over what we're going to cover today and how it's going to look. So I invite all of you to take some nice cleansing breaths. And I know if you're in the United States, you might have been celebrating, right? This weekend, you might have been gathering with family. And a lot of times those are beautiful gatherings. And sometimes there can also be sadness and all sorts of things during the holidays. And I know if you're in different parts of the world, there might have been something else unfolding this week, this last month of November. And here we are, December 1st. So as you take these deep inhales and exhales, just let yourself arrive, let yourself be really present here. And take a moment to bring your awareness to your hips and your pelvis, your knees, ankles, and feet. And visualize beautiful roots of light going down your legs and out the bottoms of your feet deep into the earth as you release. Release anything that could get in the way of you receiving the blessings from Our Lady of Guadalupe today. And do not worry, you don't need to know what that is. You don't need to control anything. Just allow, just set that intention of, I'm willing to release. I'm willing to let go of anything that I don't need to hold on to anymore. And as that starts to happen, notice that your roots also start to expand and grow and create this very beautiful foundation, this very strong foundation. So that again, all the blessings that you receive today from Our Lady of Guadalupe, from Tonantzin, from the Divine Mother, from Our Lady of Tepeyac. There's so many names for her. So that those blessings that you receive can be anchored in, can be brought into not just your physical body, but your life and all your loved ones and all the people that you are here to help, to serve, to lead. And so there's 33 of us gathered today. I know some of you are watching the replay, some of you are here live. And so I invite all of us to visualize that all of our roots are co-creating this temple space. And it's happening in a very interdependent way, in a very sovereign way. There's no crowdedness, right? There's spaciousness. You have so much space around your roots, and you're able to also recognize the beauty and the power of everybody else's roots, all of the medicine that they bring to this gathering. And so now, through the bottoms of your feet, visualize those chakras, those spinning wheels of light that are at the bottoms of your feet. And you're just allowing those chakras to open. So you're receiving this blessing from Mother Earth. You're really connecting with these roots connected to the earth. And you're almost like you're breathing through the bottoms of your feet. You're breathing in beautiful light that's moving up your legs, up into your left and right hip, into your pelvis, moving up your spine, the back of your neck, all the way up to the crown of your head. And that light cascades over like almost like a fountain. You're this fountain of light, this fountain of light. And that light just overflows, filling your auric field. So your aura, that cocoon of light, is filled with beautiful light. And as it's filled with light, again, there's a release. So if there's anything in your auric field, any static, any frenetic energy, any distraction, other people, we just invite the beautiful realm of angels and divine beings to clear your auric field. And then I invite you to bring the palms of your hands over your heart center as I'm doing now. And as you connect with your heart, visualize it as a beautiful flower that is opening. And as it opens, your connection to your beautiful soul deepens. Your soul, your true essence, your higher self, whatever words you use to describe who you really are. And as you set the intention to receive your soul's unconditional love, that's all that's required, your intention. As you set the intention, I am willing to receive my soul's unconditional love. You're also setting the intention to receive Our Lady of Guadalupe's unconditional love, her grace, her healing, her blessings, her individualized guidance for you. Right? That's why we are gathered here. That's why Guadalupe, 10 years ago, why she invited me to start these gatherings. It was to amplify, right? Because when we gather together, we're a bigger antenna. We can amplify your ability to receive from her. It wasn't about Guadalupe wanting us to show up and adore her and love her, even though I feel that way towards her. And that's beautiful. If you feel that, absolutely, that's so beautiful. But she's so loving and generous. It wasn't like gather people together so they worship me. No, it's like gather people together so they can receive from me, so they can receive all the blessings. And so we welcome you, beautiful Guadalupe, Divine Mother, Mother Mary, again, all the names, Our Lady of Tepeyac, There's so many names for her. Tonantzin, right? Morenita. There's so many names. And so open your heart to her. Whether you have connected with her for years, for lifetimes, or it's your first time. She is a representation of the Divine Mother. And so we welcome her as our overlighting mentor. And I invoke a beautiful circle of light around each of you, whether you're here live or on the replay, and around our whole circle. Remembering that our intention for today is to activate that pillar of light that you are and to receive guidance for 2025. Your word of the year, your mantra of the year, your marching orders. And that is said with so much love, because those orders come from your own soul. And so take a moment to ask, even though we haven't done the meditation yet or anything like that, but just ask your beautiful soul, ask Our Lady of Guadalupe, beautiful Guadalupe, what am I here to lay down today? What am I laying down? Maybe you're laying it down at her feet. You're laying it down to her heart that can dissolve all pain. What are you laying down? What are you releasing? And notice that I'll use different words that really mean the same thing, but maybe there's a word that really resonates, right? So what are you laying down? What are you releasing? What are you shedding, right? There's a reason I'm wearing these snake earrings, right? The snake sheds its skin. What are you shedding? What aspect of your identity is no longer needed, is no longer necessary? Maybe there's the martyr that Guadalupe is saying, that's no longer needed. To almost like old clothes that you're wearing, and Our Lady of Guadalupe is saying, you can shed those. What is being dissolved in the light of Guadalupe's grace, her radiance, her love? And now asking beautiful Guadalupe, what am I receiving this gathering this year? What am I here to receive? What am I here to allow? What am I here to embrace? What am I here to welcome? What am I picking up? Right? You laid something down, and now Guadalupe is saying, here, pick this up. So what is that? And with that, we bring the palms of our hands together and we bow to each other and our own heart. And we declare this gathering open. And so I invite you to take a moment to write in your journal or in the chat, my flame over there has gotten so big that it's lighting up one of the leaves. So I'm going to take care of that. I was just hearing all this crackle and I was like, is that Guadalupe? I mean, I'm sure it is, but I was like, okay, here we go. So write it in your journal or write it in the chat. There we go. I think that's good. Anything that came up for you, like, and notice, oh my gosh, this is sorry, everybody. I don't want to start a fire in my house while we're doing this. Thank you, Chloe. is okay now. She is burning it all down. Okay. So notice, as I was saying, even with the words, right? Which one with the release, let go, shed, dissolve? Like, what were the words that really spoke to you? Because that gives you a clue, right? That if it's like, and for you, the release or the laying down might be what feels more powerful, or it might be like, oh yes, I'm shedding a skin. Just kind of notice, because all of that is significant. It's giving you clues, right? Of like what is happening right now for you. And same with the receive. Maybe it was receiving, right? Maybe it was allowing, embracing, or maybe it was picking up, right? There's something I've been really connecting with that lately. This almost like this, like for me, Guadalupe feels like, pick up your mantle of leadership, pick up your sword of light, right? Pick up your banner. And so whatever resonated, and of course, you'll get more guidance after the gathering, but pay attention, like, okay, which words really kind of like, ooh, like that really spoke to me. So I want to read some of the things people are writing. Let me go back up here. Fairfax, California. Thank you, Suzanne. You're anchoring the pillar of light there. Jill, release, lay down, judgment, resistance, and hiding. Yes. We're all being guided to lay down hiding. I mean, all the things, but pillars of light are seen. They're not useful if they're hidden, right? There was a time when that was part of it, but this is, we're going into 2025, and it does, and you will be seen in your own way. Do not panic. Like, it will look different for everyone, but absolutely receive miracles, grace, abundance. Beautiful. Oh, did you get to see the third eye in the back? Oh, awesome. Maybe that's why Guadalupe set the thing on fire. Like, I was like, okay, thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, Sarah Howard. Sarah, good to see you. Release worry, pick up ease. Oh, I love that. Pick up ease. I almost feel like that's your mantra. Like, maybe Guadalupe is already giving it to you. Like, release worry, pick up ease. There's something nice about that. I love that. Letty, release fear and resistance. Yes. Emily, release dependence, receive abundance. I love that. So powerful. Maisie, so good to see you, Maisie. Release doubts and fear. Yes. Let they receive support, clarity, guidance. Yes. Katie, release self-doubt, pick up I am, believe. Yes. Yes. That's beautiful. Maisie, receive patience. Oh my gosh. Yes. I still have parts that when I hear that, my parts are like, I don't want to be patient. But of course, it's such a spiritual, yes. I mean, oh my gosh. But think about how patient you've already been. I'm not just talking to Macy, but to everybody. That's what I'm hearing Guadalupe say, to really acknowledge how patient you all have been already. Even if you have parts that get annoyed and frustrated and all of the things, but think about all the ways you've already been so patient. There's something about that. She's really wanting you to acknowledge that. Patty, release fear, restriction, doubt. Yes. Suzanne, let go of isolation. Yes. Oh, wait, these are fear. Okay, let go of isolation and fear. Pick up connection and joy. Yes. I love that. Connection and joy. Yeah, and that isolation. Oh, that's so important for us to let go of. Yes, all of these are. Receive, Patty saying receive, wait, opening up to more light. Yep, we're here to do that. Direction, trust, and courage. Yes. Shira, it's so good to see that you're here. Dissolve obstructions to love. Yes. Expand wingspan and walk forward, showing myself fully. Yes, absolutely. Showing ourselves fully. That is where it is at. Expanding your wingspan. Yeah, we're all expanding our wingspan. Karen, it's so good to see you here. Release struggle, allow peace and ease. Yes. And actually, Karen, that reminds me, the Mother Mary card I pulled before is Our Lady who gives peace. Get that. How beautiful is that? There's that nest with the eggs. There's that dove of peace over the crown of her head. Right, this piece, and I picked a little spot to, this is from the Mother Mary Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And of course, the book has so much information, but this is the part that stood out. Mother Mary comes to you, we'll say Mother Mary, Our Lady of Guadalupe, comes to you through this oracle with a message to be heeded. You are either in a situation now where you feel tested and challenged and are uncertain as to whether or not you should be worried, or you are going to have an issue that comes to head soon, which may feel challenging. And then this is her message, so don't panic over that. If you're like, "Ah," the message she's saying is this: do not fear. She says, I am with you. I am your cloak of protection and the eye in your heart that shows you the way through. Trust me and allow me to bring you peace. Right? So that is her message. So whatever it is, whichever of those things are, whether, and whenever we feel tested, right? That says, I'm with you. I'm your cloak of protection and the eye in your heart that shows you the way through. Trust me and allow me to bring you peace. And yes, the cloak, I mean, Guadalupe has a cloak, right? There's a big deal about her cloak of stars. So yes, that is so beautiful. And I love to see the eye at your heart. That kind of reminded me of my eye, because the eye is really right behind my heart too. So there's something about that, right? Okay. So what is a pillar of light? And please feel free to keep writing here. I'm really going to try to read all of them. Okay. Jan said, pick up beautiful cloak of strength. Oh, I hadn't read that, Jan. Pick up beautiful cloak of strength and confidence. It can be mine too, not just for others. Yes. I think that's why I found this cloak. It was like, when I saw it, I'm like, okay, this is the Guadalupe gathering outfit or cloak. Okay. So what is a pillar of light? So I asked that, obviously when you hear it, it sounds so beautiful. And there's a resonance in my heart, probably in yours too, when you hear that. But I really, last night I was like, okay, Guadalupe, what do you want? What is this? Give me what? And I wrote it in one of the recent things I sent in my newsletter. So you might have seen it. But really, she said, being a pillar of light means prioritizing your alignment, and I'll talk about what this means, above everything else and above everyone else, which I know can sound selfish. What did that mean? Alignment meaning, when she showed me that, it was like, another way to say that is prioritizing your connection to your soul, your alignment above everything else. And even though that might seem selfish, right? That might seem like, oh, but this was the point that she was saying, when we do that, and it might be a minute, a second, 30 seconds, it doesn't mean like you go off for 5 hours to do this, right? It's like we have a life. Remember, Our Lady of Guadalupe, all these divine beings, they know this, they understand. They know what you're going through. So Our Lady of Guadalupe is not going to ask you to meditate for 5 hours every day if that's just not in your reality right now. But she's saying when you prioritize that, when that comes first above everything else, then from that place, you actually help. Then it is helping others. Then it's, I know it's overused, but it's like the plane, right? And like I said, I've been on so many planes this year and I'm about to be on another one. So I'll hear that message again, right? If the oxygen, whatever thing, the oxygen mask come, you put it on first before you put it on anybody else. And it's such a tangible understanding, right? But really think about it. And I remember when I first heard that, I was like, but like if my kids are next to me, right? You're thinking, I'm going to put the mask on them first, but then realizing like, and then I'm going to collapse and that's it for me. And I can't help anybody else or help them anymore, right? So this is what Our Lady of Guadalupe said, is that the first aspect of being a pillar of light is your commitment to that alignment with your soul. And again, this isn't about getting a massage or all the awesome things. That may be part of it for sure, but it's not about that. I think sometimes we think that, and then that then we dismiss it. Well, I'm too busy right now. So obviously that's not realistic for me. So like later when I retire or my kids are older or I get over this really challenging thing I'm going through in my life. Like, no, this is about now in this moment, you prioritize that. Because when that happens, and I know some of you are in my 6-week course, tomorrow's graduation, right? For Blessed. I've been talking about that there. When you do that, you start to recognize that you're not just human, right? You are a divine being that agreed to have a human experience. So the pillars of light that are needed are humans. Yes, we have beings like Our Lady of Guadalupe, Jesus, Kuan Yin, Green Tara, all of these divine beings that are here to help us. But what humanity needs is other humans who are remembering, I'm not just human. Yes, I have an ego structure, I have a brain, I have a physical body, and this isn't about dismissing that. But I'm more than that, I am a soul having a human experience. And when you keep remembering that and reminding yourself of that, and even if it's as simple as bringing your hands to your heart and setting that intention, remind me that I am so much bigger than any challenge I have or any challenge the world is having. Like that's the call that Our Lady of Guadalupe is asking us. It's not a little thing. We acknowledge this takes a lot of courage and commitment and discipline and all of the things. And so I want you to think about, this is what was coming, is to start to think about in this moment. And when we go into the journey with Guadalupe, it'll become more clear. But what gets in the way of you doing that? And again, there's no judgment. It's just we're bringing it out. We're bringing it out into the light. We're bringing it out into the ceremony. What are the biggest, what is the thing that gets in the way the most of your alignment, of your prioritizing, connecting with your soul, of whatever you want to call it? What is it? Write it in your journal. If you feel comfortable writing it in the chat, write it in the chat. Whatever it is, without judgment. If your brain offers you time, I just don't have time, then write that down. That's okay. Because you need to know what is the thing that your ego structure, your brain is telling you is the thing. Is it time? Is it discipline? Is it all the other people in my life? Is it my physical health? What is it? What is the thing that when you tune in, comes up that's like, oh, this is the thing. So Sarah, thank you. Busyness. Yes. Right. So that might be the thing. You're like, I'm just so busy. Like that's always what comes in. Right. So everybody else check. Right. Because again, this is meant to be something really practical and tangible and applicable, right? Not just like a ceremony that, oh, it's so beautiful and amazing. And then I go back to my regular life. Like, no, what are the things? Katie's saying distraction with my phone. Okay, yes. So that might be the thing. Tina Payne is saying discipline. Great. Thank you, Tina, for sharing it. Little beings need of me. Yes. Jan, outgrowing others, a fear of changing relationships. Yes, thank you, Jan, for that. Yes. Karen, feeling overwhelmed, distraction. Yeah. So I really want everybody, and if you read somebody else's and you're like, oh my gosh, that one's me too, write it down too. If you're like, because I know I'm like, oh my gosh, that's mine too, like as I'm reading these, but just notice, because these are the things, right, that we carry inside in our brain that is always telling us, well, but you really can't, right? You're too busy. Your relationships will change. You're going to outgrow others. People will be disappointed in you. It's going to be hard. Whatever it is. Suzanne, not sleeping. Oh my gosh, I so understand that, Suzanne. Yes. Jill, heavy emotions. Yeah. So again, remember Our Lady of Guadalupe, right? What was her, I mean, she said many things on those days that she appeared to Juan Diego, right? And, which by the way, if you want to read the first transcript of that the priest wrote of the kind of the yeah, like kind of like transcribed, okay, this is what was told to me about her apparitions. You can actually find it online for some bizarre reason it's in I think it's in some museum in New York. It should be in Mexico, but that's a whole other conversation. But you can like really read all of it. It's really fascinating. It's very short, but you can, and so one of the things she says, right, is like, basically, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but she's like, que no estoy aquí, que soy tu madre, right? Am I not here who am your mother? And so this is when she's asking this, what is it that gets in the way? Think of it as this beautiful, loving mother that's trying to help her child. And it's like, tell me, what are the things that are in the way? Tell me what they are so I can help you. Let's like name them. And this isn't a mother that's punishing you. And maybe if you had that relationship with your mother, so understandable because a lot of our mothers carry their own wounds. Just know that's not Our Lady of Guadalupe, right? She's like, I'm your mother, and she knows all and sees all and is like so powerful and amazing, right? So she really wants to know, and more than anything, she wants you to know what are the things. Because when we go in this inner journey with her, like that's what we need to release. Because one thing to understand, and this is what I've been sharing in Blessed, and I'll be teaching in 2025, I'll be taking some of the teachings from that 6-week course and teaching them, is that it doesn't take a long time. So if for you, one of the things is busyness or feeling just like, I just don't have the time for it, and I very much understand that, please remind yourself that it can be done in an instant. You just have to keep having those instants throughout the day, every day. Okay, so like that's the key. And right now, as I go through, another transformative experience, another initiation that's taking a lot of my time, I've had to really come back to that. And I can feel how my ego wants to tell me, oh, you're too busy right now. Things are too hard right now. There's all these important things you need to focus on. And just like, I can just see like, wow, like that's really convincing. Like it really feels so real. And then remembering, wait, but it can take an instant. And so I'm just looking at my notes because I had written some stuff before we started. So you have the things that you think are in the way. And with great love, Our Lady of Guadalupe tells us, but they're illusions. It's not actually true. And she says this not with any judgment, right? Not like you're exaggerating, not at all with that tone, but just like, thank goodness, that's actually not real. You can align. Okay, so there's that. And we're gonna do, so whatever you wrote, that will be part of what you release. And we're also going to travel back in time to 2014, go through 2014 to 2024. And please do not worry. It's your soul's going to be in charge of that. So whatever comes up, any past hurts that still need to be released. So just take a moment to ask, even before we go into inner journey, just bring your hands to your heart and think back on 2014. And just already start to think back 2014, 2015, all the way to this year. And just notice in your physical body if you are aware, oh yeah, there's still some hurts I'm carrying. Maybe I already processed it. I already talked to a therapist or a coach, or I did ceremonies, or I did all these things already, but there's some things that are still hanging on. And there's no shame in that. This is part of the human journey. But notice, and notice if you can separate it from the story of what happened and just isolate it, identify the, like a word that represents what it is you're still holding on to. So there might be a whole story attached to it, but if you can start to identify, rather than the experience, like, oh, what is it that I'm still holding on to? Is it resentment? Is it self-judgment? Is it physical pain? Is it anger? Is it hurt? Just kind of notice if you could identify it in one word or words, right? There might be a couple of things. Disappointment. That's like, oh, that has still been lingering in your energy field, in your body. And we'll go deeper with Guadalupe in the inner journey, but just start to notice already and start to have so much compassion for yourself. Like, wow, you've been carrying this all this time. And so if you want to write it in the chat, if there's a word that came to you, maybe it showed up as an image. Maybe you're like, I just saw it as this big bowl of black tar or something, right? Or smoke. But just already starting to become aware, like, oh, like this is something I've still been holding. And so again, if you want to write it in the chat, you can, or just write it in your journal. So there's like a prepping that Guadalupe is doing for us right now, right? Already it's like kind of prepping. Oh yeah, like these are some of the things. Patty saying doubt in self, not feeling good enough. Thank you, Patty. Yeah. I could feel when I was doing that, like the sense of urgency, that there was a sense of urgency that not from the positive space, because sometimes there is something, there is a divine urgency that sometimes we need, right? That it's like, oh, it's time to me to focus on my healing, right? Like that's different. But this is like an urgency that I had just because there were so many things happening in my life, and this kind of like almost like low grade anxiety, but that was like urgency. So I'm feeling like, oh gosh, that's still in my energy field a bit. Sarah, abandonment. Oh, yes. So just right, noticing like, oh, these are things that have been lingering. And the image that's coming, which is so interesting, it's almost like you're this beautiful tree, and there's just these like heavy things on some of the branches, right? That it's like, oh, it's, this pain of abandonment, right? Or this self-judgment for who I was, old family stories, that's on my tree, right? Grief, right? And so again, these are things, doubt in self, not feeling good enough. So struggle, yes. Right. And so it's these things that have been lingering and again get in the way of just you fully receiving strife, yes, disappointment, yes. I feel like for me, and it's very subtle because I've worked a lot on this, but that proving myself energy, like needing, like proving myself, it's like, oh, that's somehow very connected to urgency. It's like, okay, like that can be released. Shira, belief about not belonging. Yes. Yeah. Thank you everyone for just honestly sharing. And I know those of you who are watching the replay, you're sharing along with us as well. Suzanne, unworthy. Yes, self-judgment. Yeah. And I think because, I went to the mercado today looking for the flowers. And on Sunday, I mean, the mercado is huge every day, but on Sunday, it's like, oh my gosh. And there were all these trees. There were Christmas trees being delivered, and there was all these Christmas ornaments. So maybe that's why that image I just keep seeing again. You're this beautiful tree, and what Our Lady of Guadalupe is saying, she wants to adorn you with all these blessings, right? That's like the beautiful star, the beautiful, like nothing that weighs your branches down. But what we're identifying right now is the things that are like, just weighing it down, that we're going to let go of, that Our Lady of Guadalupe is going to help us release. Katie, recovery from multiple losses, close family and friends. Yes, thank you for sharing that. Yes. Like that can be, sometimes when we have multiple losses or multiple initiations, right? Challenging experiences. It's like we have to be so in like survival warrioress mode, get through it, get through it, get through it, get through it. And then it's like there comes a moment, right? Like maybe like this, where it's like, oh my gosh, I got through it. There was so much healing I've already done. And oh yeah, there's still maybe some of the trauma of that, of the shock of all of that. Thank you for naming that, Katie. And so what I want to talk, and please feel free, everyone, to keep sharing, is our physical body, right? That was the other thing that was really important to set the stage here for this as we go into ceremony. Because being a pillar of light, what that also means is that you're able to hold more of your soul's light. Like you don't short circuit, right? Like really, it's like you're able to, so if you're receiving, right, your soul's light, the light of Guadalupe, the Divine Mother, and all these other divine beings, we are here with a human body. And so your physical body needs to adjust, recalibrate to be able to hold more light. And one of the number one ways to do it is, as we were talking about right now, is letting go of past hurts, past trauma. And then the other way is you really, it's this divine paradox, right? Divinity is full of paradoxes, is remembering you're not just a physical body, you're so much more than a body, but also honoring and loving your body. So take a moment right now to think about your physical body and your relationship to your body. And obviously I could have a whole class on this, but just whatever comes in this moment. And ask Guadalupe already to show you what aspect of your relationship with your body she's helping you to heal today. So for some of you, I know you've been on this journey for a long, long time of healing your relationship with your physical body. So for you, it might be very subtle, right? You might be like, oh gosh, I worked on this so long, but there's like a subtlety that you're able to see like, oh, but yeah, my relationship with my body can improve in this way, or there's this part of my body that I still like, I'm afraid of, or I don't connect with it, or I hate it even, right? It might be, and if for you, if it's like, what relationship with my body, if you're like in the other end of the spectrum, that's okay. Your ego will want to make this more challenging than it needs to be. If it's coming up now, it's because there's a healing Guadalupe has for you. So you don't have to take all the whole big topic on relationship with your body. Just notice, what is Our Lady of Guadalupe as your divine mother? What is she highlighting for you? Is it the way you talk to your body? Is it the way you feed your body? And please, this is not at all any sort of like judgment, criticism. If that comes up, that is not your soul, that is not Guadalupe, that is just a part of you that maybe has that pattern of judging yourself. Have compassion for that part, but come back to this place of truth and just hear, like, where. Thank you, Maisie. I think it's a reflection, because every time I look at it, I think the same thing. And yes, it's just a reflection. So thank you for, yeah. Feel free, anyone, if you suddenly see a flame go up behind me and I'm deep in meditation, unmute yourself and yell or something. That's good. No, but it is the reflection. I'm sure there's a message there. There's some message there with that reflection. But so thinking about your physical body, everybody, just kind of notice. Jill saying gut health. Okay, beautiful. Right? So that's a place where Guadalupe wants to really support you. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like for you? Start asking that question, because that means your gut is actually being invited to hold more light, right? To hold more light. And think about gut, solar plexus chakra. I mean, there's so many things. Gut is digestion, right? Taking in nutrients, releasing waste. I mean, there's so much there. But everybody just really ask, okay, ask Guadalupe. Let's just go in silence for a moment here and say, beautiful Guadalupe, show me. Scan my beautiful body. Show me, where are you guiding me to love my body more, to connect with that part of my body more, to forgive my body if there's resentment and anger you have towards your body. Or maybe you feel like, oh, I feel like I need to apologize to my body. Or maybe there's parts that you're like, I have not thought about this aspect of my body for so long. I just want to get to know it again. What is it? So I know Sarah wrote releasing sugar. Yes. So maybe right now Guadalupe is saying like that is the most loving thing right now. Katie also, me too. Oh, me too, I think was for the gut. Yes. Okay, so just notice, what is Guadalupe highlighting in your physical body? And whatever she highlights is very intentionally connected to you being that pillar of light. Emily, healing and honoring my feet. I love that. Yes. Right. And that just, oh my gosh, that so reminds me of, I'm just feeling so Jesus and Mary Magdalene, right? Jesus washing the feet of the disciples. And of course, Mary Magdalene using the anointing oils on his feet. And white Tara, she has eyes at the bottoms of her feet, right? And the palms of her hands. She sees all prayers. She's so filled with love. So there's something so beautiful about that, Emily Jan. Aging changes, creating fears of unreliability on my body. So sadness of loss of body's dependability. Yes. So then Jan, like really connecting to Guadalupe with that, right? Like what is the what is what is it, that the word that's coming with that? There's something very specific. Like, what is the way Guadalupe is seeing that? Like, go into her eyes to see that. And I know the whole topic of aging, and I'm not talking just to Jan here, this is for all of us. It's there's so many mixed messages, right? It's so confusing. So it on the one hand, it's like, embrace aging and all of the, obsession with youth culture, all of that. But then there's also this whole like fear, right, of aging and all of that. And in the human sense, all of that, there's truth. There's so many things there. But it's also, think about it from a spiritual place of what aging means, right? From that spirit, which has nothing to do with chronological age. There's something I think that's coming up about that. And actually, the last podcast episode I did was about embracing your expertise energy, but there's something about the expertise, the sage woman, the elder wisdom. There's something about that, Jan, that I feel like you tapped into as you wrote that. Like, what can be the gift of not being able to depend on our physical body as we did before? What's there? Of course, honoring all the feelings and all the parts, but Maisie, being disciplined and consistent with my daily practices. Yeah, so maybe that's it. And I know somebody else mentioned discipline, and remember, discipline is disciple, right? Being a disciple of your soul, right? A student of. Like, I like that definition so much better because discipline can kind of bring this like rigidity, like, oh, you have to be disciplined, but also remembering, oh, wait, that means, am I willing to be the student of my soul? And my soul saying, do this practice, I'm going to do it, right? Because my soul's wiser and loves me. Aging and body image. Thank you, Tina. Yes. Kind of what I was talking to Jan about. Caring for digestive system and feet. That's so interesting. Digestive system and feet. I love that. Left side of pelvis, and like Shira saying, and neck connection. Love, release. Yeah, thank you, Shira. And everybody else, whether if you're watching the replay or here, just kind of know, right? Know where I feel it a lot right now. Like Our Lady of Guadalupe is really highlighting my bone marrow. I mean, this has happened before. There's other personal reasons too, but it's like a few years ago that started where I was really guided to send Reiki to people's bone marrow. And I was like, what is that about? But it's like, bone marrow is so ancestral, right? There's something about the depth of the marrow of the bone. Yeah. Shira, I have a teacher that defines discipline as remembering what you want. Yes. Healing and re-embodying my sexuality. Yes, Patty, absolutely. I mean, gosh, talk about healing for all of us. I'm not saying just you, for all of us, right? Sexuality, sensuality, all of that. How is that helping us to be a pillar of light? Embracing that aspect of us. Karen Hart, permission to care for my body and release judgment. Yes, absolutely. Suzanne, learning to live in my body. I had to start there, Suzanne, with my relationship with my body. I was so like, and it was, as many of you have experienced, right? With trauma, we just kind of like escape our body. And so I just kind of lived up here. And then once I learned about chakras and energy body, I was like, awesome, just keep me up here. I don't need to go to these ones. I just want to float and be up here. And thank goodness I had teachers that helped me understand that that wasn't the point, right? That I actually had to really come into my body. So thank you, Suzanne, for naming that. Thank you, Macy, for sharing that resource. Thank you for that. Yes. Jan, loving my shape. Yes. It was so, I just have to share this and we're going to go on our journey. Yesterday, Greg and I went to, we're in Mexico. So it's so odd, like Thanksgiving happens and I'm like, wait, but there was a group gathering for people who wanted to do a Thanksgiving meal. And I know there's all the things with Thanksgiving and what are we really celebrating and all of that. But anyway, this was like ceremony, gather together, give thanks. And somehow, and it was we hardly knew anybody. I think we knew two other people. So you just kind of sit with random people, which is cool because it's all people from all over the world. It wasn't just the US who've moved here. And somehow I got in the most interesting conversation. This remind me, I don't even know how I got to this, but this woman was saying how she talks to her body. I think it was kind of like shocking when she said it because we weren't talking about that, but must have known I wasn't going to be like, what? But she was like, I really talk to my body. And she was like, and I used to like hate my hips. And I thought, having grown up with thin is better, that she meant she didn't like her hips because they were too big, but she actually wanted her hips to be wider, right? She was, she is a Mexican woman who was like, I want curvy hips and I don't have curvy hips. And I used to really hate them. And then I took this class and I just started to love my body and talk to my body and tell my hips how I love you so much. And she's like, and my hips changed. And I was like, I totally believe this. She's like, and then of course the other woman next to me started telling me this whole other story about talking to her body. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so anyway, I'm saying this because absolutely this talking to your body with love, right? With love and appreciate with love. Like I mean, appreciation too, but there's something just like with love, like the way this woman was saying it, it was like, it wasn't just like, oh, I love my hips. Like the way she was talking about it, because she was talking to me in Spanish. I'm trying to find the exact words to translate, because it was not just love. It was like I just apapacho, right? She was like, I just like caress, I just like love my body so much and talk to it in such sweet word. I mean, I was just like, wow, this is like this whole other level of loving your body. It wasn't just like, I love you shoulders for what you do, I love you hands because you help me touch things, but like really, yeah, cherish. But there was this very kind of like sensuality to it too. So this is kind of like, so I'm just offering that because I know that wasn't an accident, right? All these interactions. So Patty saying, I welcome bone marrow healing too. Absolutely. Yes. I think we're all going to receive a bone marrow healing today. Okay, so let's get ready to go into this journey and receive. I bought a special handmade, it's got chamomile and all these different beautiful, and I was wondering, I kept going back to chamomile and I just kept thinking digestion, stomach, and I was like, do I really want this for the Guadalupe gathering? But this is the one she kept, we all need digestive healing too. So we're going to start. So I invite you all to get very comfortable if you want to lie down. I mean, we've already started, but the ceremony aspect, please feel free to lie down. But you can stay seated. The candle is good. Okay. That flame just keeps growing and growing, everyone. Just every time I look back there, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to start burning this. I invite you to close your eyes and take some cleansing breaths. And already, as you shared in the chat, as you wrote in your journal, as you shared on the replay, there's been so much release. So this beautiful smoke is starting to clear, helping to clear from your body, from the environment where you're at, everything that's we've been releasing so far. As we fully step into this ceremonial space. And I invite you to bring your awareness to your heart, that eye in your heart, that beautiful eye of your soul, that eye of the Divine Mother. And as that eye opens, it radiates light in front of you. And see yourself standing on an illuminated path. And on this path, there's all these herbs. There's rosemary, there's chamomile, there's cinnamon, there's cinnamon, there's anise, there's turmeric. There's all these herbs and spices actually on the ground. And so as you're stepping, you're walking on this path, and there's all this plant medicine that is blessing your feet and is preparing you, right? It's preparing you more deeply for this ceremony. And for those of you who are requesting healing from your feet, this is happening already as you step on these herbs. Some of them, which I honestly don't even know what they are, turmeric, right? There's all these herbs and your eucalyptus. And you're just walking, and your soul leads you exactly to the herbs and spices, the plant medicine. Don't overthink it. Just walk on the path and notice that maybe you take a step and you're like, oh, this feels really good to stand on these plants who are so generously offering me their medicine. And you keep walking until you come to the base of a mountain, a hill, let's call it a hill. El Cerro de Tepeyac. This is where Our Lady of Guadalupe, where actually the indigenous people in Mexico used to go there to connect with the Divine Mother, Tonantzin. And so you're at the base of this hill that's actually very easy to climb. And so you start to do that. You start to go up this hill. It's not very steep. You're just going up. And you know that this is a hill of the Divine Mother. It's a pilgrimage you're walking on. And again, it's very gentle. You're not sweating. You're not falling off. You're just like, it's like a gentle incline going up. And you notice flowers on your way there. You notice butterflies and dragonflies, almost like they're leading you to the top. And as you start to get closer to the top, to the summit, again, this is a gentle hill. You start to hear wind chimes. The air starts to shift as you arrive at the top. And there at the top, there's this big stone that looks like a platform. And so you're standing at the top. The top is spacious. So you're standing at the top of this hill. And there's this beautiful stone that looks like a platform, like an altar. And you know that you are being guided to gather some flowers and put them there. So look around you and you realize, oh my gosh, there's all these beautiful wildflowers. There's also roses. There's any flower that your soul provides for you. And these flowers are delighted for you to connect with them, and they give you permission for you to cut them, which is very easy to do. And so go and gather some flowers, whichever ones you're guided to, whatever color, whatever type, and you're gathering them with so much love to place on this altar. And so just gather them, gather them. Are there sunflowers? Are there daisies? Are there tulips? Are there roses? Are there orchids? Maybe some flowers you're like, I've never even seen these, but they're so beautiful. Are you guided to pick only one color or all different colors? And so you have this gorgeous bouquet of flowers, and you're putting them now on that altar made of stone with so much love, and arrange them in whatever way feels good. And then you're going to sit in front of that altar, and somehow it's very comfortable. Maybe you're sitting on a cushion, or you're kneeling if that feels good, just whatever feels good, but it's very comfortable. And you have this sense of anticipation, of joy, as you're waiting, right? You put these flowers and you're waiting. And you look up at the sky, and as you look up at the sky, there's this ray of light that suddenly, right on top of that stone, there's this like spotlight from the sky, this light, this ray of sunlight. And then all this light starts to gather, and your inner child is so happy. Your inner child is like, oh, I know who's coming. Right? She's so happy. As this light gathers and gathers and gathers and takes the shape, slowly but surely, you start to recognize those rays of light. You start to see the cloak of stars, and you see that Guadalupe is right there on that stone pedestal, looking down at you with so much love. And she comes down from the pedestal, picking up your flowers that you gave her. So you are now eye to eye with Our Lady of Guadalupe. And she tells you what she said so many years ago. right? In her own words of, do not worry. Am I not here who am your mother? And so as you sit next to her, she is taking you on a journey back to 2014. And from 2014 on, she is going to pick up, she's holding a basket. And she's just she's putting in the basket and you're putting in the basket any of those burdens. And this isn't about remembering any story. I mean, a story might come up, stories, memories might come up. But it's just picking up from 2014, from 2015. You're just picking it up and just putting it in her basket, and she's taking some things and putting them. It's like you're walking through a timeline of those years, 2014, 2015. She's like, yep, we could put this in the basket. We could put this in the basket. Yep, that's going to be released. 2016, what was happening in 2016? Any anxieties, any worries, all of that. Just going in there. 2017. And maybe some years there's just some more heaviness than other years. That's okay. She's putting it all there. No worries if you don't know specifics. Just let her, she's collecting it all in her basket. And you're just next to her, right? Next to your divine mother. It's like she's going, like she's like, okay, we're cleaning out your bedroom in the most loving way, right? She's like, nope, you don't need this anymore. You outgrew that. Nope, you don't need to carry that. I'm clearing that. 2018, right? Anything from 2018 that's going in there, and allow some of this to be without clarity, meaning that maybe you see her put this big chunk of boulder in the basket and you're like, whoa, is that? Just trust that if it's there, you're ready to release it. And if you need to know more will be revealed. 2019, that's all put in there. There's all the excess. She's like, nope, you don't need to take this. This is outgrown. We're putting it in this basket. 2020, anything from 2020, just all of that being placed in that basket, anything from 2020. Let her take it all. She is your divine mother. She was there with you. She knows exactly what needs to go in this basket of release. 2021. Let it all go in there, all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. 2022. This is all that's unnecessary, all that was weighing your tree down. Remember that image of the tree, there was this heaviness. Nope, she's putting it all in this basket. So we did 2020, 2021, 2022. All of it there. Trust that she knows what is unnecessary. Your ego structure might argue, but she knows. Nope, you don't need to carry this with you. 2023. Any of the heartache, the heartbreak, the suffering, the abandonment, the self-judgment, self-recrimination, the feeling of not belonging, self-doubt, all of it. And then 2024, anything from this year. And I know we're just in December 1st, but divine beings can navigate in all directions of time. So she's going all the way to December 31st of this year. If there's anything from any of this year that is unnecessary, that you're not meant to carry with you, not just in 2025, this is the 10th annual Guadalupe gathering. So she's saying, we're really blessing your next decade, of course, your whole life, but it helps us to think in increments. So all of that. So this basket is full. And she's holding it in her hands, right? All of the things that were there. And the stars in her cloak are so radiant and bright. And you stand in front of her with so much love and gratitude. And we say that prayer that Mother Mary gave to me years ago, right? That you might have heard me say, which is like turn all of this, everything that's in that basket, turn it into something beautiful. And if there's anyone that can do that, it is the Divine Mother in all her aspects, and here specifically as Our Lady of Guadalupe. So all of this heaviness, this darkness, all of it, it's getting released, it's getting transmuted. Right? She's just radiating her unconditional love. And little by little, there's just these gorgeous flowers, crystals, light that is filling her basket. And so she tells you, she calls you by your name, dear one. You don't need to carry these. You can let them go. And anytime you feel the heaviness again, come to me and I will transmute them. You are called to be a pillar of light in 2025 and beyond. And every pillar of light, she says, is different. It's a garden of pillars of light. No two are the same. Your pillar is essential, is unique. Everything that you have judged in yourself was part of the training. And so in 2025, there is a word that Our Lady of Guadalupe wants to gift you with. Your word for 2025. This will be a word that acts as a focal point, a blessing. And so receive your word from Our Lady of Guadalupe. And what I see her doing is, so the basket is on the floor now, and she's just taking her hands and with her fingers, she's writing the word with light. There's the word. Now, some of you might not see the word yet, but you know that she wrote it and she's placing it in your heart. Others of you might very well see it. Like, there's the word. It might make sense to you. It might not. But she's gifting you with this word for 2025. And if you find that your parts are nervous or like, oh, I don't want to get it wrong, it's okay. Just know, okay, put the word in my heart. It'll become clear at the perfect time. So receive that word. And then, and she's never done this before, but she's like, this year, she wants to gift you with a mantra. You can think of it as a mantra, an affirmation, whatever, a prayer. And so she's writing that right now. It's not just one word, it's a few words. She's like, here to, like, for me, when she gave me that one, is turn this into something beautiful. That's not my mantra for 2025. I mean, it's part of me, but I'm just giving you an example, right? Or it might be something very simple that you're like, what? That's my mantra, but she's writing it for you. She's writing it. And she places it in your heart. And it's okay if you don't see it yet. Just know it's there. It'll be revealed. And she's inviting you because nothing is forced. You have free will. You don't have to do any of this. But she's inviting you to use that mantra. Use that mantra in 2025 to solidify, to anchor in, to strengthen your pillar of light, the pillar of light that you are. And then she's gifting you. So now you've got your word, you have your mantra, and she's giving, now she has in her hand a medicine bundle. It's like a little medicine bag. And this is a medicine bundle for your physical body. And so she hands it to you and you have it in your hand. You open this beautiful medicine bag and see what is in there. It's something specifically for your physical body. You might just see it as a color, a symbol, an energy. Or you might see specific things, a herb, a flower, an exercise, a practice. Whatever, however it shows up, let it be perfect. She knows exactly what you need. And it's okay if you just open it and you're like, I know there's something there. I just don't know what it is yet. That's okay. Receive this gift. This is for your physical body. She cares very much about your physical body. She says, yes, you are more than a physical body. And on this human mission that you said yes to, I understand that your physical body is important. That is how you connect with other physical bodies here. So notice, what did she put in that medicine bundle? So you have a word, you have a mantra, you have medicine for your physical body. And now you're going to ask her, beautiful Lady of Guadalupe, let me tune into this question because there's a lot coming through. So let me tune in. Beautiful Guadalupe, how does my pillar of light serve the world? Another way, beautiful Guadalupe, what blessing does my pillar of light offer the world? Another way, what is my pillar of light healing in the world? And then you're asking, so we're starting to wind down here. You have a word, you have a mantra, you have a medicine bundle for your physical body. You asked about your pillar of light. And then you're asking, how do I best nurture my pillar of light? Which is asking, how do I best nurture myself to be the pillar of light? Which is asking, how do I best stay in alignment so I can be the pillar of light? Remember, this is recorded so you can always go back. And then this is a very interesting question that's coming up, but I'm just going to say it, saying to ask her, is there anything I'm doing in 2024, any practice, any habit, anything, I'm just going to ask it, that I don't need to do anymore in 2025? Very specific question, but she's saying to ask, is there anything you're doing? And you might have been doing it for a while now, but she's saying, ask her if there's anything that's just unnecessary that you do not need to do in 2025. And then just the last question, beautiful Guadalupe, is there anything else you want to tell me right now? Is there anything else? And as you receive that message, she has a final gift for you, which she's gifted us with before. And she holds in her hands a beautiful cloak. And this time, what I'm seeing, it's a very specific cloak for each of you. It might look like her cloak of stars, but it also might look different. It's a cloak that is very unique, has been uniquely woven for you by your enlightened ancestors. And so in this moment, the bone marrow healing is coming. She is sending light to your bone marrow, light to your lineage. She's clearing from your bone marrow any legacy burdens, I'm hearing. Clearing that. As that happens, your enlightened ancestors arrive with so much love, so much honoring of your path, so much gratitude for you, what you have already given to your lineage. So they help weave this cloak for you. And so Guadalupe unfurls it and shows it to you. See the cloak, what color, what fabric, what image. And then she very lovingly, as she blesses it, puts it behind you. And it might be a cloak with sleeves, a cloak with a hood. I mean, whatever, perfect for you. Fits you perfectly. And as you put on that cloak, you are integrating, your soul is helping you integrate this healing, this activation, these blessings, this alignment across all 4 levels of your being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, across all dimensions of time. And she is saying that on December 12th, 12/12/24, her feast day, we are sending a blessing to that day so that there is something about today from now till the 12th that there's this, you are in this accelerated container of healing and blessings and miracles. So open to receive whatever joyful surprise will be there for you on the 12th. And so gently, you're back at the bottom of this beautiful hill of Tepeyac. You're back on that path, and you notice that the herbs are different this time. This time, these plants showed up to help you integrate. They're continuing to help you integrate as you walk on that path back to your heart, back to your body, back to your space. And your beautiful guardian angels are clearing the space as I burn more sage so that nothing that was released stays in your environment. Clearing, clearing, clearing. And gently take some deep breaths. Coming back to your space. And just burning, clearing everything here. Take some stretches, whatever you need to do. And drink some water. I know we're at time. I'm probably going to go over just a few minutes. I'm just going to pull some oracle cards for the group. And of course, if you want to share anything in the chat, I feel like in these 12 days till her feast day, you're going to be receiving more clarity and really anchoring in your word. I mean, she had a lot of gifts for you all, for all of us. It was like word, mantra, medicine bundle. Wait, what did she do after that? Word, I have to listen to the replay too. Word, mantra, medicine bundle. Oh, and then you were asking her questions, right? About your pillar of light. Oh, I really want, I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to share, but I was very excited about the question. Like what, we asked it different ways. It was like, what is your pillar of light? What healing is it bringing to the world? What, I don't know, it was like 3 different ways. I don't remember all the ways that it was asked. How do you nurture it? Which I loved. Also that question of there's something you're doing now that you don't need to do in 2025. It was really interesting, very specific. Jill, word for 20, unity and unify. Love that. Unity and unify. It's so interesting. I've said many times my word of the year for 2024 was wellspring. And I've been connecting with it. I mean, definitely there was times where I forgot and then it would come back to me, understanding all different things. And today when I was preparing for this is the first time that I thought of it and suddenly saw a well. How did I never think of a well this whole year with wellspring? But I suddenly got the image of a well. And when I went to Ireland, one of my favorite things was to go to Bridget's Wells, like all the sacred wells. And so there was something, so I'm still being informed, even as I receive my word for 2025, I'm still receiving guidance for from this word of my year, word of the year for 2024. Anyway, mantra. I am you, you are me, we are one. Oh, she gave me this several years ago in past gathering. I love that. So now as a mantra, right? So the power of a mantra is for everyone, for all of us, is the repetition of it, right? It's like the practicing of it, the reminding of it, right? I think mantra means tool of the mind. It is a tool. And so what I'm hearing her say is we will get as much from it as we, you might get it and never think about it again. And the next year at the 2025 gathering, you're like, oh, that's right. I got that mantra, right? It'll still be operating in the year, but it's a support for you. Yes, I love that question too. How do I best nurture myself so that I can be my pillar of light? Yes, I think that is such a powerful question. Absolutely. Yes. All that I carry can be transformed. I love that. Yes, yes. So I'm going to pull some cards for the group, not individual, because that would take too long. Although I have done that in the Bless group, and that has been great. So a couple of things to remind you of this coming week. I will not have a live podcast because I will be on a plane on my way to Colorado, but perhaps I'll share one on the replay. Also, there's a few slots in December if you want to schedule a free breakthrough consultation to connect with me, for me to help you get clarity on all of the things we talked about today, but really, which is all connected to your service, how you're here to serve, how you're here to lead, and how to do that in a way. And this is what I love that Mother Mary, Guadalupe, all these divine beings are emphasizing in a way that nurtures you, blesses you, right? Not in a, how can I help so many people, but I'm so burned out and tired and exhausted and I don't think I can help more people, right? Not that. That's the old paradigm. That's not what we're here to do. So anyway, if you want help with that, I would love to talk to you. So, and there was something else and I forgot what the other thing. Oh, I think I will have an end of the year class. If you're not on my newsletter, sign up for my newsletter because that's the best way to stay on top of everything. Karen wrote, my word is align. Oh, my mantra is remember what you are. That's really interesting, Karen. Because usually it's like, remember who you are. I don't know if that's what it is or you wrote it off, but I love that. Remember what you are. There's something like that changes with that. I love that. So I'm excited. I was really guided, of course, Pillar to pull a crystal card for everyone. And I have a couple of others here. Then we'll be done. This crystal card is all, there's also elements. It doesn't say anything. So you take a picture of the card. If you're like, I've never heard of that crystal, look it up and you'll know, I was just really guided to pull a crystal. And maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I love that crystal. That's so special to me. But still be open to what else. Okay. So there's a crystal. And then I don't think I'll pull from the 3 other decks. I'll pull one other one. I'll see. But let's see. Okay. So this is a crystal that is supporting your alignment in 2025. Okay, that is supporting your pillar of light. Okay, so let's see. And by the way, in the breakthrough consult, I do pull a card for you. There's 2 bonuses that come with it. I pull an oracle card for you, and we start with a customized invocation for you. But let's see. All right, Guadalupe, what crystal is supporting everyone with their pillar of light in 2025? Oh my gosh, everyone. Okay. Oh, there is a word on the top. I forgot. Transformation is the key word, and you got Moldavite. If you're like, Moldavite, I've never heard of this. Moldavite is a meteorite. And it's very rare. I've had 3 pieces of Moldavite. I mean, this is like the crystal. This is like Kali Ma, if you know Kali Ma, that goddess, in crystal form. I mean, this is like, in fact, I had a little one that I would put on a big crystal. I couldn't wear it. Like it was that, and it was like tiny because usually they're kind of pricey. But the good thing, I love this deck because she really teaches that you don't even need to have the crystal to connect with the medicine of the crystal. So I'm aware that you might have a hard time finding Moldavite, or you might not, but you can still connect with the ally. But look at this. She is like this woman leaping. She's got the big wings and she's leaping into this green light. I mean, this is like a powerful, powerful card. Tina, how do I subscribe to the newsletter? And I would like to send, okay, perfect, Tina. Trying to think what is the best way to do this. I will send the replay. So your email for everyone, I should have said this in the beginning. So everyone watching the replay too. When I have everyone's emails from when you registered. So make sure it was the correct email. Sometimes that happens and then they bounce back and I have no idea. Thank you, Jill. That's great. And I will, when I send the replay, I'll send the link to, I'm doing a little update on my website. So now I'm thinking that link might not be there, but I'll send the link for the breakthrough consult and I'll send the link for signing up for my newsletter. Okay. And you know what? I'll put my email here for those of you who are new to me. In case your email was off in the registration, take note of my email and you can email me too. So transformation. There we go. Moldavite. I am like super excited. Moldavite. And let's pull an ancestors because I really felt the ancestors coming in with the bone marrow. I completely forgot. And right at the end, I was like, woo, bone marrow heat. Here we go. Oh, wait, did I just put that to Patty? I think I did. Patty, I'm not sure how I have you, like my message is just going to you. It just told me that. There we go. Okay, let's see. What ancestor message do you have for your pillar of light? Oh, perfect. Oh my God, this is such a, okay, sorry. Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Oh my gosh, there's 2. It's like a magic trick. Seriously. Oh my, I didn't do that on purpose, everybody. Seriously. Thought it was 1. So first of all, clearly green is very important. And of course, green is the color of Guadalupe. I just realized this. Okay. Moldavite is like crown chakra, like up. And then we have this beautiful angel, but this like stay grounded and rooted. right? So this is really important. And the feet, everybody who's talking about feet. And I don't know if you noticed, there's like a dream catcher right there and this green stone. And then, oh, let's see what's behind. Oh, here it is. Okay, everything gets reversed. Shield maiden. Look at what this says. Make plans and focus. All right, everyone. This is like very specific. Okay, make plans and focus. And that's what I think I will be doing in December. I really want to do a Mother Mary class that's very specific about making plans for 2025. But even if I don't do that, you do this. I know there's something significant about the markings on our face. Some of you might have this deck. This one. So you can look it up. You can sometimes Google it and it'll come out too, but just really just you pay attention. What is coming up? Here, this angel has his hands on the heart, which is so beautiful. And then she's got that shield, right? And then we've got leaping with wings. Whoever said the wingspan, was that you, Shira? I don't remember. Somebody had mentioned wingspan in the beginning. So, all right, everyone, this is so awesome and amazing. And I love that on December 12th, Guadalupe said, right, we're going to receive a blessing, right? Open to receive it, whatever that is. Like really, really, it's one of my favorite gratitude practices. And sometimes I forget to do it, but it's like, you probably read this like every morning, kind of saying like, thank you so much for the surprise that came my way today. Right? Like for the happy surprise, for the joyful surprise. And so I feel like Guadalupe said that like on the 12th, you're going to be blessed even more. You're welcome, everyone. And I'm going to send the replay. And I think on the 12th, I will put it on my YouTube channel. But if you know someone before then that you're like, oh my gosh, they would want to catch it before, it's like you're getting like, have them send me an email and I'll send the replay to them. Okay. Or you can share it with them actually, if that's easier. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy Guadalupe. Enjoy all the messages that are coming to you. Really anchor in your word, your mantra, your medicine bundle. I know some of you are my clients already, and I'm going to talk to you, so I can't wait to hear what your medicine bundle, what's in there, and how you're going to nurture yourself. Karen, it was so good to see you, and so good to see everyone and all of the new people as well. And I'm excited about 2025. And I welcome all of your prayers for travel as I go off to Colorado and for my daughter's baby birth. Maybe she'll be born, she or he, we don't know, on the 12th. That would be so exciting. It's like, if I'm texting, I'll post, I know, anyway, I don't know. I know it'll be perfect whenever this little baby's born. So I step into that new role. All right, bye everyone. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.